Hello, friends. I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. And today I'm looking back at the games from 10 years ago. This is a series I started back in April, I believe, where I'm just looking back at games from the 5, 10, 15, and more years ago on the fives and discuss some of my favorite games that came out that year that I've played, some of the key expansions, and most importantly, games from that year that I still haven't played and really would look forward to, and any of the expansions that fit that bill as well. So, kind of, this is in 4 parts. First part being games that I love, expansions I love, games I'm really still itching to play, and then expansions I might want to add. So 10 years ago was the year 2013, and I played 17 games that year. And some of the expansions, I didn't really take an expansions head count, but not very many expansions from 2013 because I didn't really play that many games from ahead of that time that weren't just the old classics. And we'll see that kind of at the end of the year when I look back at the 15 years ago, I'm sure. But there are a lot of good games from 2013 that I have played, and some of my favorites. In fact, if you caught my top 50 at the beginning of the year, you'll see a lot of these games come up on that list. So let's go ahead and talk about some of my very favorite games. Like, I'm talking top 10 games that I've played from 2013. And just alphabetic order, we're talking about Concordia, one of my all-time favorite games. Really enjoyed this dry-ish Euro about producing and building up things in the Mediterranean and just trying to get points in various different ways. It's a tight economy Euro style game where you play card actions and then eventually you gotta play an action to get those cards back. I just really enjoy Concordia. Been one of my favorites ever since I first played it, and that's still true today, 10 years later. Russian Railroads, one of my favorite worker placements. It was a Grail game I had for the longest time and finally got a hold of it. I still enjoy playing it. It hasn't been on my table in a while. I still want to try Ultimate Railroads, but that's a separate game that just came out, but combines Russian Railroads and the expansions, along with a new expansion and new solo mode, I believe, and that really piques my interest. But Russian Railroads, one of my favorite and one of the tightest worker placements I've ever played, and still one of my favorites. And speaking of one of my favorite worker placements, of course, Viticulture is also 10 years old. It's just a great worker placement game with some card action. You're building a vineyard, so you need to plant your vines and then harvest the grapes and then turn those grapes into wine over time. A lot of thematic things that you're doing. It really feels like a wine making game, and it's again another tight worker placement game that I just really enjoy. That wasn't the only game from Stonemaier Games that year. In fact, Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia came out in 2013 as well. So it was a good year for Stonemaier Games and like the first major year for Stonemaier Games, I believe. Viticulture was the first game, I think, they kickstarted. Maybe I'm incorrect on that. So I believe it probably released in 2013 from Kickstarter, and then Euphoria, Build a Better Dystopia also came out in 2013. And I really enjoy that game. It's another worker placement style game. It's dice placement, and in this game there's no points. You're just racing to play your 10 stars, I believe it is, into helping the dystopia. So just another neat different style worker placement game. So good year 2013 for Stonemaier Games and for my enjoyment of those games. One of my favorite party games ever came out in 2013, and I've probably been playing it since about that time. It's Bang the Dice game. I really enjoy this game. A little bit of, hidden roll, but only to extent. Usually you kind of figure things out once the game gets rolling a round or two. So it's not that trickery, hidden roll, thinky style that I typically don't enjoy those kind of games. But Bang the Dice game just plays so fast, and it's all dice, so you're not reliant much on other players or things. It's just zany, wacky, good fun. I always enjoy it, and we always enjoy bringing it to the table. Another fun party-style game that I enjoy from 2013 is Sushi Go, a little card drafting game, and you're building little sushis and scoring points based on how your sushis come out on the tableau. I just enjoy Sushi Go. It's another quick, easy to teach, fun little, almost party style, but plays less players, so we can't call it a party game. But just enjoyable, fun Sushi Go. I recently played the main solo game from 2013, Maquis. Enjoy that one, about kind of the 1940s France. You're going around and trying to slow the spread of the Nazism, I believe, is the theme. But you're going around just doing things to thwart the activity of your city being taken over. Good little worker-esque placements and maybe pick up, deliver, or resource management, however you want to look at it, type of game. Solo only that I enjoyed and just played last month. I really kind of enjoy these to a lesser extent, but the last two games I'm going to go ahead and talk about from 2013 that I have gotten enjoyment from are both cooperative games. First one is Forbidden Desert, was the sequel to Forbidden Island, which is a game I own and enjoy. I picked up Forbidden Desert recently from the library and played that a few times and enjoyed it. It's a little bit tougher, I think, than Forbidden Island, and it plays similar but different enough that they are very different games, and I think I kind of like Forbidden Desert better after my couple of plays. But I'll have to play it again a few more times, and Forbidden Island a few more times, and really feel which one I like better. But Forbidden Desert felt more like it was tougher, but it felt like there was a little bit more player agency in it because you could always do something about the bad. Where Forbidden Island, you can't really do much. Once your little island is gone, it's gone, and you can't do much about it, and you could kind of find yourself in a bind pretty quickly with some bad luck. And then really long cooperative game, Eldritch Horror, was my first introduction to Cthulhu and one of my first introductions to cooperative games, I believe, way back in the day. And it was long and tough and grueling, and it was a lot of fun. I've only played it a couple times, and I haven't played it probably since like 2014 or 2015. But I remember it being just a unique experience, if nothing else. It's got a good story, and you got to really work together because it's super tough to win, and yeah, it's almost impossible. I would think so. One of the toughest cooperative games that I know of. A big sprawling map, a good storyline, lots going on in Eldritch Horror, so it's on my mentions here for games from 2013. As far as expansions from 2013, there's only one that I know for sure I've played, and that is Race for the Galaxy Alien Artifacts, and I kind of shoved it in with my Race for the Galaxy, so I couldn't even tell you what is really super special about this one. I might not have actually played with the full-on expansion, maybe just the cards it adds. Just more cards and stuff for Race for the Galaxy. I got the box of all the expansions. So Alien Artifacts is one of them that is in the box of everything I play with. When I pull out Race for the Galaxy, can't comment much further on that other than I know I have it. I know I've touched on it a little bit. All right, so what are some of the games I want to play from 2013? I've got 5 on this list that really pique my interest in one way or another. First one is Caverna. Gets talked about all the time. I've not played Agricola either. I've not played either two of those Uwe Rosenberg games that get all the talk. Caverna, I'm interested in. Agricola, when we get to that year, could potentially be on my I want to play list for that year, unless I get to it before that comes up. But Caverna, Cave Farmers, I think is its official name. I'm really interested in. Been hearing a lot of good things about it. And I know it's kind of my style of game from what I know about it. So looking forward to checking that one out. Another Uwe Rosenberg game on the list from 2013 is Glass Road. Again, heard a lot of good things about it. Haven't dug too deep in learning much about it, but it's definitely on my interest list from 2013, Glass Road. Bora Bora is a game from Stefan Feld that came out in 2013. One of two that's going to be on this list. I've really come around to enjoying Stefan Feld ever since I've dug into his games. And Bora Bora I will try in a way here soon because it's one of the new cities, Cuzco, in the cities collection that I have on my way to add to the rest of my cities collection over there. I've enjoyed my plays of all of them. So that one's piqued my interest a little bit. But even more than that from Feld, a game that's piqued my interest and I've only ever heard good things about is Bruges. Bruges is a game I've kind of played, but not really. I've played Hamburg, which is my favorite from the city's collection. Spoiler alert to a future conversation here. But Hamburg I really enjoy, and that is Bruges with changes and expansions. So that much I know, and I know people still who have played both prefer Bruges, actually. So I'm really interested in learning why and what the differences are. I want to really dig into that one, especially knowing how much I enjoy Hamburg. And the final one on my one to play from 2013 is Nations, a little bit of a Civilization style game. I've heard good things about that one as well. I've always liked Civilization and things. I majored in history in college, and I'm just someone who enjoys that type of thing, that type of game. Don't know much about it other than you're kind of building a civilization, and I enjoy that. So I'm interested in giving that one a try. And the only expansion on the list from 2013, as I was doing a quick once over that I would like to give a go, is Tzolk'in Tribes and Prophecies, a game for Tzolk'in the Mayan calendar. A game I've only played once, a great little worker placement game with the worker dials and things like that. So I'd be interested in replaying Tzolk'in and maybe adding Tribes and Prophecies to it too. But that's what I have for 2013 expansions. That's what I have for the whole conversation from 10 years ago. How well have they stood up? I think they've stood up great. The games I've played and the games I've heard about, Bruges, Caverna, talked about still to this day. Concordia still, 22, I think, as of recording on the Board Game Geek Top 100. Russian Railroads is up there. Viticulture is always a favorite. So lots of good games that have really held up through the years, 10 years later, and these games are still on people's minds, still on people's tables, even more importantly, and still on my table especially. So it was a great year, 2013, a great year for gaming. Even if I haven't touched a lot of it, there's a lot of great things, at least in the top tier from the year. Let me know what you think of 2013 in the comments below. Is there something I didn't mention here that you think I should have mentioned? Especially maybe I haven't played it and just it passed me by when I was doing a scroll through of BGG. I didn't go all the way through every game from that year. That would have taken way too long. So let me know some hidden gems that I haven't even considered. I'd love to hear them in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe by hitting the button below so you can come back next time I put out a video. I try to put out a video every week. In fact, once a week on Sundays, I'm pretty much guaranteeing a video and some other videos along the way. I hope to see you next time. Bye.